top of it. I want to talk today about why I truly believe that Bitcoin will never pass gold in terms of value, market cap value, its total value. It'll never happen. Now, I could be wrong, and a lot of you Bitcoin heads out there will want to laugh at me or whatever, but I used to be like you. I used to be all in on Bitcoin and think that it was the stuff a few years ago, and even this year. Until recently, I changed my mind completely on it, and I'll tell you why. But it will never happen. It'll never pass gold in terms of value. So first off, if you understand market cap value, that's the most important thing of this discussion, right? So market cap value, the total value of an asset. The market cap value of gold is about 20-something trillion dollars. That's a lot of money. Just in terms of all the gold that we know of, that we've mined, that's in circulation, it's in jewelry, it's stored as bullion, etc. All of it together, it's about 20-something trillion, maybe 20 to 25, give or take. Look at Bitcoin, on the other hand. It's doing its thing. It's been doing its thing since it was created. And that is at about 2.4 trillion. So about 10 times less than than gold, Bitcoin. It's about 10 times less the value of gold. And so now we understand that, right? You got to understand also that gold has always been, since the beginning of mankind's ability to exchange value and store value into something, gold has been the go-to, along with silver. Gold and silver, but gold is the top dog when it comes to this stuff. And silver is a nice second place. It's very valuable as well. And that'll go up also. But we're talking about gold, the big dog, right? And gold has been mentioned in the Bible. You know, God, if you guys believe in God, he said it's good. And we all agree it's good. I mean, it's beautiful to look at. You can hold it. You can exchange it evenly. And we all agree on the price of it. The value of it is high, right? About $4,000, $4,100 an ounce. It's pretty good. If you got you some gold, congrats. I've had gold jewelry. I sold some recently when I needed it, and it went up in value from the time I bought it. It was a beautiful thing. You know, it was worth more than I thought. And so gold, man, is just, it's real. You can hold it. We all agree it's valuable since forever. Every civilization that's ever been created agrees that gold is valuable. And people dig it up. People dedicate mines to this valuable thing. And whereas we talk about Bitcoin, man, Bitcoin was created by somebody, someone or some group of people. We don't know. It's a mysterious thing. It just appeared suddenly in 2009 after the big 2008 crash. The banks kind of were just greedy, and you know, the white paper, you can read the white paper. It's basically supposed to be basically an attack on, or I guess, what's the word? It's a get back at the banks for they're basically scamming, you know, they're printing money out of thin air, and then inflation. It's supposed to be a hedge against inflation and whatnot, right? Okay. So now let's just say, man, Bitcoin, the reason that it's got so popular and so exciting, it was really the first 10 plus years of Bitcoin's existence, right? Like I said, 2009 to 2010, that first year of Bitcoin, man, the only people that were able to get Bitcoin was the insiders, the guys who really knew about it, the tech guys, maybe who knows who made it, right? Satoshi Nakamoto, this mysterious guy that we all kind of put into this holy grail A lot of people say it could be the CIA, the government made it. Who knows? That's the issue with it. Nobody knows who made it, but we all kind of accept it. It's valuable. There's only 21 million that'll ever be made. Many of those Bitcoin that have been created have been lost. A good percentage of them have been lost, right? And so there's a big fanfare around Bitcoin. It's very popular amongst people who are, aware of it. It's not as popular as gold, and it'll take many, many years to get to that level, if ever. And so if you look at when it first started, Bitcoin, and you look at its value, its price per coin, it went from a couple cents to the first year went to about $10. It's a crazy jump. Then eventually $100, $1,000. People are going nuts. Then it drops to 200 or something. People are losing their mind. They're like, oh my God, it's a scam. Then I remember when I first heard of it in 2014, I was just like, oh, it's interesting. I remember hearing about you could mine it on a computer, and I was like, man, my laptop is not that great. I won't do it. So I skipped out on it. Fine, whatever. That's my thing. Then I remember 2017, 2018, around there. I think it was like end of 2017 that, or somewhere around there, 2016. You guys remember that was one of the first big explosions of the price. It went from like a couple thousand, 2,000 or 3,000 to like 20,000. It peaked 19,000, something like that. And it peaked, and there was like a mania about it. It was like, what? This is insane. But the peak was very short-lived, and it soon after dropped back down slowly to the $3,000, $5,000 range, and then, really low thousands. And everybody's like, oh, it's a scam, blah, blah, blah. And I kind of thought it was a scam too at first. Fast forward, and also another thing about Bitcoin, we all know about the cycles, the 4-year cycles. This is another important point about Bitcoin that we all should know. And the fact that you can mine it is an important point, that dedicate certain mining technologies, computers, towards Bitcoin, and you can strike the chance of creating Bitcoin, mining it. Granted that you have enough electricity to dedicate towards these mining tools, whatever, that's a whole nother thing. But the important point is these 4-year cycles. Every 4 years or so, you get these halving cycles, like they cut in half the reward per Bitcoin or whatever, right? That's another thing to consider. Okay, cool, interesting. So after the big pop in 2017, 2018, a lot of people that know about the halving cycles knew that 4 years later, more than likely, the price is gonna explode again, but even more, right? Cool. So what happens in 2020? The price slowly gets back. The end of 2020, I remember this more vividly. The price slowly started getting back to that explosion level of 2017, and it started going up to about the 15, 16,000. Then it started hitting that new all-time high level of the 19K, 20K. It started breaking out again. New halving cycle. And this is where I really got interested, and I got serious, and I started buying my first Bitcoin. I was like, all right, this is serious. I started buying the hype. And for me, I didn't really buy into it till it was really high. I noticed it went past the all-time high, 20K, then it went to 30K, 40K, and I'm like, oh man, I'm trying to wait for it to pull back. It never really did, and it just kept going. So I probably bought it around the 50K mark. It went to 50K, and then like 60K, and I'm just buying more. I'm like, oh man, this thing is just it's going to infinity, right? The typical, the FOMO, right? Classic FOMO. And then eventually that cycle kind of it dipped down again back to the 30K again, and then it went right back up to the 60K, And then it went back down and it started settling down or whatever. And I kind of like took a big loss on that. I'm sure a lot of people did as well. A lot of FOMO people. And, you know, eventually I was skeptical again about it. And I'm bringing all this up because I want you to understand these cycles, these boom and bust with Bitcoin. And the magnitude, the level that this Bitcoin goes up. Right? The level that it goes up for every halving cycle. And so I even made some good money on it eventually. In 2022, I bought it at this low around like 15,000 or it was like 16,000. I bought a big old chunk, made a couple bands, couple $1,000. And, you know, I just quickly sold it soon after. I didn't hold it for long, made a couple thousand. I'm like, all right, let me treat myself to a vacation or something, right? That was cool. So now fast forward again to its latest halving cycle of 2024. President Trump gets elected. Bitcoin has been kind of stagnant, but around the time Trump gets elected, coincidentally, Bitcoin goes up again. Starts breaking out of its all-time high once more, breaks out of that $70,000 range, starts shooting to 90,000, gets to 100,000, you know, starts going a little bit past it eventually. We've even seen it recently, you know, today, 2025. You know, went to about 125,000, I think its all-time high recently, as of today, October 2025. And, you know, last week, it sold off like crazy. The whole market sold off, you know, stocks and everything. But I don't want to bore you guys to death. You guys know about the price action. And I'm bringing all that up. It is important to understand the price action of Bitcoin in terms of its halving cycles, right? Understand this with its halving cycles. 2017, it exploded exponentially, $3,000 to about 20K. That is like a 7x explosion. Insane. Okay, 4 years after that, another halving cycle. It explodes from about the new all-time high, about 20,000, to about 60-some thousand. That's about a 3x. That's pretty good. Fast forward once more, 2024, halving cycle. It explodes from its all-time high of about 60-some thousand, call it 70, to about 120,000 eventually this year. It's where it's kind of been peaked at. Cool. Now, why am I bringing this up in terms of gold? What does it have to do with that? Okay. The hype of Bitcoin has died down, man. And it's not exploding at the same rate that it used to in its first days. A lot of Bitcoin heads who believe in Bitcoin, die by Bitcoin, you guys often compare. You guys look at the timeline of Bitcoin and say, look, if you would have put $1,000 into Bitcoin in 2010, you'd be a millionaire today. No shit. Yeah, you would. Sure. But who the hell knew about Bitcoin in 2010, guys? Who knew about that? Besides a bunch of insiders and a bunch of like super Silicon Valley dorks who were just into this new thing called Bitcoin. Who else would have been like, man, this is a great investment in 2010. It's brand new. Who the hell would have known that besides the few? It's such a tiny number of people that would have known and taken a chance to put a couple dollars into Bitcoin back then. That's my argument with you guys who like to compare the timeline of Bitcoin and say, man, see, look, back then it was made in 2009. If you would have bought it even in 2013, 2014, that would have been a great spot to buy it. Sure. It's still very skeptical back then. Okay, fine. But now fast forward, that same rate of return from 2017 cycle to the 2020, 2021 cycle to the 2024, 25 cycle. It's noticed the price action. It's slowed down. It's explosivity. All you people talking about is going to hit $1 million a coin. Oh yeah, you'll be dead before that happens. And here's what I'll say. I do believe Bitcoin will keep going up. I said all that, I'm kind of shitting on Bitcoin, but I do still believe Bitcoin will still keep going up consistently. It'll keep going up. But the catch is, it's not going to go up at the same rate that it's been going up in the past. I'm telling you it's not. You can just look at the price action. Just look at the halving cycles. You can see it clear as day. It's not going up at the same rate. I'm telling you it's not. Don't believe me, just watch. Gold, right? Trinidad James, don't believe me, just watch. Gold, we talking about gold, that's kind of funny. But anyways, but just watch. I'm telling you. And listen, this is not financial advice. I got to make that statement. This is just my opinion. I'm not a rich guy or anything. I'm just really into stocks and investments and stuff. But I'm telling you, man, just watch the price of Bitcoin. And one final point that I'll make, we have to go back to market cap, right? Market cap is important because that's the whole value of the asset. Gold is tremendously valuable at 20-something trillion, more valuable than all the companies, than any company, right? Companies that are bringing value to people, the stocks of these companies and whatnot, right? Okay. When it comes to market cap value of Bitcoin, it hit $1 trillion in market cap value when it hit $50,000 in a coin. So that means every $50,000 Bitcoin gains in its value per coin, it goes up $1 trillion in market cap value. Right. So that means right now it's at 100,000. When it hit 100,000, that's 2 trillion. So it's about 2.4 trillion. So that means for Bitcoin to get $3 trillion in market cap value, which is pretty tremendous, the value of one Bitcoin has to reach $150,000 per coin. And yet, in this latest cycle, it hasn't even come close to that. It only came to 125,000. That's not to say it won't hit it anytime soon, but I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. And so you got to ask yourself, is Bitcoin more valuable than Nvidia? Is Bitcoin more valuable than Microsoft or Apple? These tremendous companies that are worth over $3 trillion each. Nvidia worth $4.5 trillion. And is it going to pass these top companies? Is Wall Street going to allow Bitcoin to surpass Nvidia, the AI darling of the market right now? I don't think so. I don't think investors are going to let that happen. And if it happens, then come back to this video and shit on me and say, ha ha, okay, cool. But until that day happens, man, until Bitcoin passes the top companies in America, investors are not going to go all in crazy with Bitcoin. And it's certainly not catching up to gold in our lifetime. Not happening. So, and not to mention the last point, sorry, I have one more point, is the fact that just imagine you created Bitcoin. You created Bitcoin. Congratulations. You're Satoshi Nakamoto, anonymous man of the century. Amazing. You're sitting on hundreds of billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin that allegedly you're such a good Samaritan that you never touch it, according to the data on Bitcoin. What do they call it? The ledger. The ledger of Bitcoin shows, I don't even know, I haven't looked it up, but apparently everybody that's a Bitcoin head claims that Bitcoin has never been touched by the creator, Satoshi Nakamoto, who has the most coins, right? It's never been touched. Okay, fine. But honestly, guys, can you really doubt the fact that if you made Bitcoin, you're sitting on hundreds of billions of dollars. You've watched the price go up exponentially so many times and kind of starting to plateau a bit. You're telling me there's no possible way for you to go with your buddies who also have quite a few $1 billion of Bitcoin. You go to your buddies and you say, hey, buddy, sell a little bit of Bitcoin. Like, and by a little, I mean a couple million, right? Maybe a few 100,000. You know, a good chunk of money for us to live on and enjoy life with. Sell a few for me. And that way, you know, I can live and enjoy the fruits of my invention. And the price won't drop dramatically, right? The price won't drop dramatically. But sell me enough to be able to enjoy the fruits of my labor and to buy real assets like gold, like stocks, like land, etc. Real assets in the real world that I can do something with. And I'll sell this Bitcoin to other suckers who are just gonna buy it up, gobble it up, and the price will just be nice and steady. It'll go up, but it won't go up crazy. We enjoy, we coast. The institutions are in on it. Oh, it's great. And that is the scam. That is the reason that Bitcoin will never pass gold. It won't go up to the level that you guys think it is, you Bitcoin heads. I hate to break it to you, but prove me wrong. Show me where I'm wrong. And I would love to gladly have a video to follow up with this and say that I was wrong. But I'm right. And you'll see that Bitcoin will never pass gold in terms of market value, market cap. And also I don't think it'll pass a lot of these top companies. I don't see it. And if that doesn't happen, if Bitcoin doesn't pass Nvidia in the next 10 years, man, you guys are in trouble. And you guys are getting scammed tremendously. And you might as well just invest in the stock market, man. At least you get some dividends, you get some real returns and whatnot. But hey, do your thing if you love it, Bitcoin. I'm not here to take it away from you. Please enjoy your Bitcoin gains. They're great if you got in early. Congratulations. If you're trying to ride the wave now, you're trying to go up even higher, hey, wait for that nice pullback, because I don't think it's going to go up at the same rate. So that's my 2 cents on the Bitcoin and gold comparison, man. And hopefully you guys learned something. This was really way longer than I wanted it to be, but I really had to break it down so you guys fully understand why you got to be careful with this stuff, man, because anything man-made, man, you got to be careful, man. You know, there's other things that I believe in that are higher, like gold, that even God said is good, and we all agree on it since the beginning of time. So that's it, man. I appreciate y'all watching. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know, anything you want to disagree with. I'm fine with it. You agree, let me know, man. And hit the like button. It's free. Quick like will help me out. And subscribe, man. I got more stuff on the way. I'll holler at y'all on the next one. Peace.